New microphone. This thing's pretty sweet. It's sounding a lot better. Thank you, Tom Mankin from Trailer Park. Great band. Bebop Scale. Bebop Scale. So this is going to be the minor Bebop Scale lesson. And let's take G minor 7. And I'll explain what the minor version of the Bebop Scale is. All the Bebop Scales are very similar, but we'll take one tonality at a time, and then I'll give some ideas for practical uses of it. But first of all the Bebop Scales, let's take G. So over at G minor 7, we have G Dorian, which is the F major scale. For now, you take the Dorian scale, and what makes it the Bebop Scale is when you're playing descending, when we come to the flat third, the B flat, okay, the note above that is the C, which is the 4. So if we look at the scale, we have root, 2 or 9, flat third, 4, 5, 6, flat 7 root. But going back to this area where the flat third is, so in between the flat third and the 4, the B flat and the C, we have the major third, which is the one note on minor you wouldn't generally play, because that's what makes it major. You know, the B is what makes G have that major sound. So in the Bebop Scale, the idea is to pass through. Usually on an upbeat, it's not. You can, if it's not an upbeat, it's not, wrong. I've heard it on an upbeat, but basically you try to get it so that as you play that passing tone, it lands on the end. 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 as you pass through that. So it's a really cool sound though. So what we want to do is take our Dorian. This is what I'll write out. Let's start up here at the 15th fret where we have a position of Dorian, which would be around this G minor chord, the fifth string root G minor. And we want to play the scale. When we come to that C, we're going to play a passing tone into the B and then the B flat. So we'll play, that's the Bebop Scale. Technically it's not a scale in the sense where you're free to just play any note at any time. In other words, if I were to have a G comp, if it were really a scale, you could sit on any note and just sit on it. So I could play the B and then just go somewhere else and then the B. That's not really what it is. This is just more of it's really a passing tone, but it's so prevalent in jazz playing that it's worth practicing in this sense. So the first thing I'll write out, and this is how you want to practice it, playing down the scale. So every time you come to that, you just pass through it. And then if we started here, now if we started from the F, we end up on 1 and 2 and 3. We end up on the passing tone on a downbeat instead of an upbeat. So that's fine. Or another thing you can do is just to start, if you know that's going to happen, like as you get good at the scale, you'll know ahead of time. Like if I started on this F, I'd know to start that on the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3. 1. See, that puts it on downbeat. Or you could simply add another passing tone. Or then that would extend things one beat. See, that puts the bebop cliche on the right. Or you could double a note. That puts it on the right. So anyway, so in this position, and then I'll write out a position starting here, kind of based around the 10th fret G, this G form. So we'd have this. And then 5th fret, so we have a G minor here. So we have this one starts right out with it. This is the position where we're starting with the 4, the C, on the top of the scale. So it leads right into it, bang. And in this case here, it ends up, if you want to stay in position, we split up that passing tone, which is good to do. And then finally we come down to this position G. Oops. And then you can combine positions, like we might start up here and then, you know, travel down to that one. So as you're moving around, you can, this one goes through a couple positions. So we start from 15 and end up on 6. But you know, for practicing it, just work on and then, you know, you go back up the scale, or, you know, play up the scale, start from random points, go back up. There's another trick. So here I started from the F, F, E, D, and then there's the bebop lick, but it wasn't on the right beat. So what I did is I just went back to the F, F, E, D, F, and then played the bebop lick, so that in between note is on the downbeat. You'll get the feel for it after a while. You just know when you're on what beat you're on. So that's the bebop scale. It's pretty straightforward. Now, the next thing to do is to have a couple of alternate ideas. So let's take something above and below. So what I mean by that is, let's take it. We're going to do it in all the positions, but let's say let's do something from below, which means, what I mean by that is, after we play the bebop cliche, instead of just going into the next note, which is A, because the bebop cliche is C, B, B flat, instead of just playing the A, we'll come up to it from a little D minor chord. This is a common lick. So there's the bebop lick, but then we'll come into the A like that. So it gives us an alternate, so we're not always just going, you know, so it varies things up a little bit. You can't, down here you can't do it, but so here it'd be. So there's coming from below up. That's one idea you can add in while practicing the bebop scale. You know, so sometimes you can just play it like a scale, and then sometimes you can, when you finish the chromatic ism, you come up the D minor. So that's the D minor is the 5th of G. That's a common thing to do on a G minor. On a minor 7, you play the minor 7 up a 5th. So over G7, you play D minor 7. Over the G. Makes a nice, gives you some nice tension. It gives you that A, which is the 9. So it sounds like a G minor 9 with the F with the flat 7. So good minor 9-ish kind of sound. And then you can rotate, you know, D, G, D, G, things like that. That's a whole nother lesson. So then our next bebop idea is to come from above to below. So what I mean by that is we play our bebop cliche, and then before we play the A, we'll go up to the D, and then, so it's going to sound like, and then we can continue on to the G. So we'll get so on this octave, and And there's different ways to finger it. You know, you could get the D here, or go back up to the same string D, or you know, you could, or put the A there. I'll write some alternate fingerings in the tab. So here would be kind of tricky. You'd have to go back up. There it is there. There, you have to finger it like that. So that's, and then let's do one more. One more idea for coming off of the bebop area. Let's just approach the G. So what that would be is like, we play the bebop cliche, and then instead of playing the A, we'll target the G. F sharp, half below the G, whole step above the G, A, and then target. So it'll sound like this. There's the cliche, and then here's the approach on a G. Yeah, we'll go back. F sharp, A, F sharp, G. So it's 4. So we get, and then down the scale. So that gives us another option. So as you practice the bebop scale, you know, that's 3 different things. You could choose the first one, the second one, or the approach. And you could, you know, mix it up. Each time you could do something different. And it just gets you used to playing different things coming off of the bebop. Because you'll get the scale down quickly. If you already know Dorian, the bebop scale isn't really hard. It's just passing through that major third. You know, so, and you don't always have to continue down. Like, for example, if we play the bebop or the approach on the G, now we could start ascending. Back down. Down. Here I used that one. We could play. So this is 3 options. You know, you get used to practice each the 3, and then those make good springboards for variations. You know, so that one approach, which is the approach on the G, you can vary that up. Just do a 3-note approach. A longer approach. The D minor arpeggio. You could go into more arpeggiation. You know, all kinds of ideas you can, you know. If I force, I'm not going to come up with any more ideas now that I'm trying, you know. But, you know, you sit down and you can sometimes just say, okay, let's see, what would be cool? Bebop is that, so maybe I could, you know, change the D minor to D major. That would give me the major 7 on the G, that type of sound. So now we could go. You know, just things like that will designed to just help you to think of variations. But those are 3 great ways to add, just so you're not stuck with, you know, just playing the, get that, or, and then you know, like it's, oh, here's another variation too. Like if we do the right, where we're coming from above, hit the D above, C, B, B flat, up to the D, then hit the A, G. Right there, we could, in between the A and G is a G sharp, A flat. We could add that in. That's a cool variation. Bebop scale, so we're starting on D and then chromatic D flat, then the bebop cliche, then that's a long chromatic line broken up by that one high D. So that's the bebop scale, used freely. It works over obviously G minor, but when you're playing a 2-5 in F, we have G, C on the C7. This is the same bebop scale. The C7 bebop scale is the same what you play on G. From the C we walk through the major 7 of C. C, B, B flat. Now that's the same scale. That's what we just played. So I'll write that stuff out in tab. And if you have any questions on that, let me know. That's the G bebop scale. I think that's about it. Cool. So please subscribe if you like getting any use out of this stuff, and feel free to make any requests for topics, and otherwise we'll see you next time. Keep shredding.